everybody, welcome back to my anime reaction on Gizanime. Today we're going to be reading Solo Leveling, chapter 174. Things continuing to move forward in this manga as they also heat up. We have Jin Woo, who has managed to get the Dragon King at his castle by himself, with his entire army gone way far away. Jin Woo is able to take on this Dragon King with him being in control of the situation, since Jin Woo has his own shadow army with him right now to the best of his advantage. So right now is Jin Woo's time to stop this guy, because if he doesn't do it now while he has the total advantage, things are probably going to look pretty bad for a boy later on if the Dragon King's army manages to make it to them before this fight finishes up. So we also had a brief moment last chapter where it showcases what Jin Woo was doing with the runestone of Kamish. Somehow he was able to use it within himself to use one of Kamish's ability that allows him to basically incapacitate anybody that is, I'm guessing, like a lower tier than him, like weaker than him power wise. I'm not sure how that works totally, because other than we see a little bit of concern from like the Dragon King himself when Jin Woo initially uses his ability, he shrugs it off pretty quickly. But the monarch that was with the Dragon King is totally shook. So this ability freezes them, which gives Jin Woo the chance to grab the Dragon King and just transport him to his castle. We also had a couple chapters back, Biru fighting the other monarch of the Iron Body. I'm hoping that we get a little bit of that shown off. I don't want it to just get brushed over, but that might be the case. But with that said, we have the Dragon King facing off now against Jin Woo and his army. So let's get into this chapter, see what happens, see if Jin Woo is able to stop him, and I will see you there. Alright everybody, chapter 174. Let's get on this and see what happens. Alright, whole bunch of destruction. The flames of war are all over the U.S. territory.
That doesn't sound good.
All kinds of mana are running wild and spreading throughout the region. Alright, so far we're with, I think it's Selner.
Correct!
S-E-L-N-E-R. And I actually don't remember this guy's name, other than he's one of the leaders of the U.S. guilds. What are we supposed to do now? Sit back and wait for Jin Woo to do something, or give up? I don't know. He's not the only hunter we have. Yeah, he's the only hunter you have that can do anything. Hunters from all over the world have thrown themselves into battle. Yeah, they're stopping the progression of onslaught. But if the monarchs were to show up to this battle here, like if the Iron Body were to go against Thomas Andre would be dead. Like, how many hunters would it take, as class now, to take down one of the monarchs? Whether they're E ranks or S ranks, the abilities of an E rank is slightly above that of a normal human. Surely they realize that, other than the fact that they carry around magic weapons unlike soldiers. So I mean, they're not doing a whole lot more to help than just your typical military guy probably. They won't be able to contribute to the battle much.
No shit.
And it's not any different in the case of C ranks and D ranks. When E rank hunts one beast, D ranks would only be hunting 3 of them. So There's not a big difference between power levels here, between E to D. And C ranks would be hunting around 10. This is even the case for S ranks. Even though they may be capable of killing 1,000 of them, they will eventually perish just like another of the many stars. So yeah, just like in any battle, you know, like a battle of attrition or something to that effect, which is essentially what this could probably be, because I'm sure the Dragon King can just keep summoning hordes of beasts, and they're probably going to be almost limitless for his cause. And no matter how many of these things the S-Rank Hunters take down, there's still going to be wave after wave of them. So it seems like an almost lost cause. However, when those individual stars fall and draw shapes in the sky, although very faintly, they show us the future. Draw shapes in the sky. What shapes are we drawing in the sky, people?
Air penis.
Other than, I guess there's nothing there now. People call this hope. Hunter's Song seems to have succeeded in luring them to a nearby uninhabited island in Japan. Them. Just him. The Dragon King. Singular. One. I remember Hunter's Song telling me something before. He told me that there is an uninhabited island tens of kilometers in size in which a gate of giants collapsed and an enormous amount of mana spread throughout its region. If the battle was to take place there, we would be able to minimize the damage done. Is that why he has been hiding in such a place all this time? Yes, to prepare, probably even to rig up the island in some way to better suit the battle, like some kind of traps, although probably very mundane traps that won't really matter a whole lot. They might just be enough to help him in the battle. Like, even if he sets up a trap that's like a pitfall that just catches the Dragon King off guard to where he slips and starts to fall, that momentary fall might just be enough to get the victory over him.
He's got a point.
Should I dispatch a couple of hunters there just in case? Please. Like, they would be able to do anything. Hunters, aren't all the S-Rank hunters in the US right now? What kind of hunters would we send out? We could send out E-Rank hunters. Oh, okay. Did you know that even Hunter's Song used to be an E-Rank hunter? Pardon? What? I know that it's possible for an E-Rank hunter to become a hero. It's a good way to look at it. Alright, so we have these two continuing their battle. Okay, a shadow rope. Okay, something Belian is able to do. That's pretty neat. Close up his mouth and attack him from the top. Cast some really massive lightning spell. And bring it all down on his head. Okay, so this has got to be Bureau and then Hwang's Shadow. Going in for their own attack. Wow. Just the way they've drawn this to showcase like an intense momentum and speed. Blurring them. To basically showcase that this is going to be an incredibly powerful impact. and still not phase this dude at all. Or at least very, very little. Okay, so they go into the side of his face, hitting him, knocking him over a little, but in the end, really doing a whole lot of nothing. Okay, blind back on top of him. Okay, this looks a little painful.
Just a little bit.
Incredibly shocking, to say the least. Okay, what is that? Put a line on top of him? No. Who's that Ingress? I really can't tell. I don't think it's Lion though. So it's probably Ingress, right? I don't see the trademark red hair. I think it's working pretty well.
Are you sure?
So it's not working at all. How amusing. I like fights where I overwhelm the enemy with a significant difference in numbers, but I do find the opposite situation quite amusing. Yeah, exactly. Like, this dude's not getting phased at all. Allow me to show you the real thing. Dragon Fear. Okay, so he's using basically the same thing Jin Woo used. So now all his shadows are going to disappear. Maybe even Biru and the others. Dragon Fear attack from the King of the Dragons. I can't control my shadow soldiers like this. Cancel summon. Okay, but he's still able to fly on the Wyvern shadow. So somehow the Wyvern was unaffected? Come back, Kaisil. Okay. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he... did... Okay, he's there. Shoots out this breath attack. Okay, and I guess the breath attack destroyed the Wyvern, so Jin Woo has to summon him back again. Okay, so we have a huge blast of fire that turned the land into molten lava. This is the real thing. The avatar of destruction who doesn't hesitate to sacrifice oneself for the sake of a raging war. The amalgam of blood, scream, madness, and destruction. Or amalgamation. A being created solely for the purpose of war. That is me, Antares, the King of the Dragons, and the Monarch of Destruction. The enormous amount of mana from when the King of Giants died must have sunk into the ground, and yet it didn't last against that attack. Oh, okay, so that's where we're at. Where the King of Giants died. And all the mana from him sunk into the earth. And I guess Jin Woo was hoping that it would have kept like the land itself intact. And yeah, not happening. Even undying soldiers would perish immediately if they were to take a direct hit of his breath. So is he saying like his shadow soldiers, if they took a hit, would die immediately and he wouldn't be able to bring them back? Because then that would mean Kaisil the Wyvern's gone. Okay, he's changing back to his human form. You do not have to be so nervous, Shadow Monarch. When you grabbed my arm, I could have easily broken free.
I doubt that.
Well, that's interesting to know. But I did not because you impressed me by driving me into a corner. And as a fellow monarch, I wanted to have a quiet conversation with you. If you have inherited the previous Shadow Monarch's memories, and you must already know this, but our ultimate enemy is not this world, but exists beyond the skies. The army of the rulers. Their only meaning in existence is to destroy the monarchs who were born within darkness. And the Shadow Monarch is not an exception to this. So even if Jin Woo works with the rulers to stop the Dragon Monarch and all the other monarchs, they'll still eventually come for him.
I'm coming for you!
I was planning on eliminating you and preparing to fight with them, but I've changed my mind after seeing how you fight. You possess a different set of talents compared to Osborne.
Oh.
And I saw our glorious victory within your talents. If you want me to let your family live, I will do so. If you want me to preserve your country, I will do so as well. If you wish for me and my soldiers to depart from this land, I will leave quietly.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Interesting. So Jin Woo just has to, I guess, join him in defeating the rulers. Quite literally, the beings that are giving the S-Ray Hunters their power, which would mean, essentially, Jin Woo would have to kill all the S-Ray Hunters. Become the owner of this land. And I'm not talking about the castle and the hills, I mean the owner of the entire planet. You possess such qualifications. Yeah, Jin Woo is not going for this. I'm pretty sure he's not going to say yes. But let's say he does say yes and he joins him.
Imagination.
Like I said, that would mean that he has to kill the S-Ray Hunters. I'm not sure about the others. And I'm not sure how this alliance will hold over time. Because Jin Woo doesn't seem like the type of person to take orders. So, would he eventually try to dethrone the Dragon Emperor, the Dragon King at some later point in time? Or to stab him in the back during their battle against the rulers? You know? Or is this all just some ploy to get him to stand down as well? Because that could be a thing. He could be monologuing this huge speech of grandeur and, you know, friendship and an alliance just to get Jin Woo to hold out his hand. Like, yeah, he says he could have broke free from Jin Woo when he caught him originally, and that sounds, from the showcase we're getting, sounds pretty plausible, but maybe it wasn't at that moment. Maybe Jin Woo did something in that moment that just really threw the Dragon King off, and he was momentarily unable to really overcome him. But I don't know. I don't think Jin Woo, regardless of the Dragon King's sincerity or not, will end up joining with him. But it would be interesting to think about the possibilities of what if. Alright, going forward, all you have to do is bend the knee, right? Is hold my hand.
I think I'll pass.
Yeah, picture that. No. If we combine forces to defeat the soldiers of the rulers, your family, your country, and this entire planet will gain peace and freedom. And you know Jin Woo's taking all this time that he's monologuing to think of something he could do. Which might be what the Dragon King's really trying to do, is to get him to go above and beyond to see exactly what Jin Woo's limitations might be. How about it, Shadow Monarch? Will you join me?
Fuck you!
Okay, so we got the Black Shadow Eyes again. Looks pretty menacing right here, too. There's a little, almost like Ichigo when the Hollow takes over. How his eyes look really odd and off. Don't make me laugh. You expect me to believe you when your eyes are screaming that you want to kill me. Okay. Here we go. This is a visage of power. That's not giving in. I didn't think he would give in. And even if the Dragon King's eyes didn't emanate kill, 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 Jin Woo probably still wouldn't have joined him regardless. He just doesn't strike me as the type of person to bend the knee to anyone, really. I guess I can't hide it. This was my final mercy to you. Then prepare, Shadow Monarch. Alright, everybody, that's the chapter. So, I guess he was trying to get him in a moment of his weakest state to hold out his hand so that he could instantly kill Jin Woo without really any worries. And again, I come back to, can Jin Woo really die? You know, is the Arise thing he did when he died originally a one-off or not? How is he going to take out the Dragon King? Because like I said, if the Dragon King's army makes it back to him before Jin Woo finishes the fight, then Jin Woo's just not going to finish the fight. He's not going to win this. The cards are already seemingly stacked against him. Like, the Dragon King's power is just way above and beyond Jin Woo. Just like with the original fight against the Monarchs, you know, the Beast Monarch and the Frost Monarch. So the only thing I could think of, the rulers somehow show up to help Jin Woo to defeat him. And they form some kind of momentary truce. Which is essentially what they've already done with the Shadow Monarch. Now, when Jin Woo beats the Dragon King, which I'm pretty sure he will eventually, right? He's the MC, that's got to happen. Going forward, is he going to have to somehow beat the rulers, or are they going to just stand down from here on out? So that'll be interesting. With that said, though, let me know what you all think of this chapter. Let me know how you all think he's going to overcome the king if you haven't read ahead of this and the light novels and things. And I'll see you all next time.